I had to let the show build a little bit, I
was too big of a guest. And I just said like 2 times, and I know if I were to take this clip, people in the comments would be like.
Or
Well, you guys were the same height for like the longest time too, so everyone thought
actually
you were twins.
I think I was taller. I think I was taller for a little bit, but
He did a 180 of who he was as a human.
what? He did a 3.
No, 360 would be bad. He'd be right back where we started.
I was doing the math. Did you see I stopped myself?
Welcome back to the Jordan Whitrock Show. Today, I finally got a guest I've been trying to get on for a while. It is my youngest sister, Mackenzie Whitrock. So let's get right into this. So, Kenzie, you finally got on the show.
I finally got on. It's been a long time coming, but I'm so excited to be here
So
today.
why did it take so long for you to come on the show? Let's get right into that.
There were just a lot of things that were coming up, and I kept telling Jordan.
Yeah, what was coming up?
I kept telling him, I'm just really excited to get on this show sometime. Once life calms down a little bit, and here we are.
You know what? I felt like a dog with like a bone on a treadmill, but it was like in front of me, and I was like, "You want to come on my show?" You're like, "Oh, I totally will." Like in time.
I had to let the show build a little bit.
I was too big of a guest. Yeah, that one goes out to I had 27 people before.
It's just I just wanted to let it cook for a little bit.
No, yeah, I got you. I appreciate you coming on the show finally, though.
Yeah, I got you.
So there's a couple things that I think we could talk about for sure. I don't know which one we want to get into first. The one that's blaring to me right now,
yeah, let's hear it.
Which I think also leads to maybe some of your forte is actually let's go to that. So you went to the same high school as me. Mm-hmm. You're 4 years younger than me. Mm-hmm. So for people trying to figure out the age gap between all my siblings, slowly,
yep.
You're 4 years young. You're the youngest in the family. Of course we have Ivy now, but so what was it like being the youngest child in the Whitrock household? Because I think most people, it's like you have the oldest, the middle, and the youngest. Mm-hmm. And so Rachel's the last kid at this point, once this comes out, to be on the show, and she'd be the oldest. I'm the middle. And
yeah,
you're the youngest.
Ironically, you had the other 2 middle siblings on before us. So we're saving the special ones for last, I guess. I don't know.
So what was it like being the youngest in the Whitrock? You can roast us, do all you want. You can give us some hate. I can fight back, all that good stuff.
I honestly, I thought I was going to be receiving a little more of the shade today when you brought up you want to talk about this. But, yeah, it's been a good life so far.
Yeah, I bet it has been. No, I'm just kidding. So I'm the middle child, and I just said 2 times, and I know if I were to take this clip, people in the comments would be like, because that's happened to so many clips that I've posted. So we're going to restart this real quick.
Okay.
So I know for me being the middle child, having 2 older sisters, I was still the younger of the 3 of us, but I was also the first boy. So there was new stuff for me to do that they wouldn't necessarily do just because of the gender difference, right? It's like, I'm probably not going to take ballet lessons, but at the same time, they're probably not going to play flag football or the more dangerous climbing trees and stuff like that. That's just the difference between nature of being a young kid.
Well, we'll get into that a little bit later now.
yeah, I'm down.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's the difference then between having 2 older sisters compared to having 2 older sisters and 2 older brothers and then you?
Yeah. It's a lot of siblings, and I think growing up, there weren't a lot of big families around. So I think that was always kind of, I guess, just surprising to me. Even in life now, I feel like people, when they talk about their families, it just surprises me. I've just gotten so used to having so many people around me all the time.
Well, we have Micah TDing with us. And Micah, how many kids do you have in your family?
Yeah.
There's 5 of us.
Okay. Disproves my point right away. They don't exist anymore.
Nah, but let's be real here. Micah, think hard of all of the kids in our school.
Yeah.
There was not a lot. Our families were kind of the biggest for the most part. A lot of my friends, although I can think of one friend that had 5 in their family.
Yeah.
And maybe that's
it was few though. Yeah. And I think for the most part, people have 2. maybe 3 siblings, but even then I feel like that's not super common.
Yeah, I mean, like 3 would be 4.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think of like my friends that had like it was just 2 kids in the family. It's like that's
Yeah,
cool.
there was a lot of that too. Yeah.
I don't know, and that's what's
Yeah.
tough is because they say you need to have at least 3 kids to like continue the population, like to
They
not
failed.
die out. And it's like because there's kids that die when they're 17, 18, all that
Yeah.
kind of, like they die so young that like then that means when the parents die, they really only had 1 kid that lived beyond them. So if you have 3, this is kind of morbid to talk about.
I was like,
But
okay, that got
if you
deep.
had 3 kids, if one were to die or get sick or something like that, you would still have 2 that would then replace the parents.
Yeah, instead of just having
Earth.
like 1.
Yeah, which is like why our population is decreasing right now because people aren't having that many kids. It's not that they're not having kids. I mean, they're not having kids, but also the amount of kids that they're having is way less.
Yeah. It's true. Facts.
All right, so you're the youngest. What was there like expectations that you put on yourself being the youngest, or that you felt like others put on you being the youngest?
Yeah, I mean, probably the first thing that comes to mind, I would say, like, I feel like you're just constantly wanting to keep up. And I think even now, like, I just have to remind myself, you know, that, like, there is an age gap or an age difference, you know, where it's like, obviously, I'm not going to be doing what you're doing because you're 4 years older than me, you know. And I think it's more obvious maybe, like, when you're younger, you know. But I think, like, now I would say that's definitely less of a influence, I would say.
I think you get to a point when you turn like 18 or like when you go to college, like I feel like especially when you turn 21, because that's like the last year, like that's the drinking age, that's the last year that you're like waiting to get to, because once you get to 20 and you're like, oh, all right, we can slow down now, like we finally we finished the race, guy, and then you feel like it keeps getting faster and faster and faster. But I feel like once you get to 21, that levels the playing field. Yeah, in that sense, you know.
And I think especially getting out of high school too. Yeah, you know, and I think everybody kind of goes their own way or like does different things, so it's not like you're not all following the same exact life plan at that point.
Did you feel like it's like we've never really talked about this, so I'm curious how open you're willing to get into this, but like,
yeah, let's hear it.
Did you feel in high school that you didn't want to do certain things because the rest of us did, or like 3 of us out of the 5 did, you know? Was there stuff that you ran away from, or no?
I mean, I think for the most part, even between us siblings, I feel like we did a lot of similar things, and even down to like sports, you know, like both you and Isaac would play like soccer and tennis, and those were like my core sports in high school too. So I feel like, I don't know, maybe it's less like, I think growing up, you like kind of want to be, it's like, I think it's kind of like a paradox in a way. Yeah. Because you kind of like, you want to follow in your siblings' footsteps, you know, and like show or prove that you can kind of do the same type of thing. But then I also feel like there's like an element of like wanting to be different, which I think I've also struggled with at different points. But
I feel like for me being the oldest son, it's like there's different expectations, and I think it's mostly like our parents aren't putting those expectations. Like, because there are families that dysfunctionally put expectations on their kids,
it's just
right?
mental.
Ours don't, but I think there's that mental block of like, oh, this is the expectation to do this, to be this, because, you know, or it's like you have to protect younger siblings in that sense. Or like Isaac, it was like there was things that happened to me in high school. It's like, well, I'm not going to let this happen to my brother, and if I'm not going to let it happen to my brother, then I'm not going to let it happen to other people that are younger than me, because like, if I don't see it's right for my brother, I'm not. That's not deserving of you to have that issue or be bullied or whatever that is in whatever place. But yeah, no, I was just curious on how being the younger of 5, if that really impacted you, or it was more of like, yeah, it kind of sucked. I was the 5th one for everything, graduation, you know, getting your driver's license.
Yeah, but I mean, I would say like even then, I feel like our family always did a really good job at like it was always a celebration, you know. It wasn't like it just kept getting less exciting. Like you just like by the time I get there, nobody's clapping. But no, I think we've done a really good job at like, I don't know, like it's exciting for everyone, even if it's the 5th high school graduation ceremony, you know. Yeah. So, and I would say like it's been good motivation too. I think like seeing what all of my older siblings have done, it's like it like makes you. You're like, oh yeah, like that's cool. I want to do that, you know.
I know. I was thinking, you just got your first official car.
Yeah.
How does that feel compared to like using mom and dad's? And I'll give you time to think, because like for me, I hate borrowing. I hate like money or stuff like that. And it's like, obviously when you don't have the ability to afford a car and they're offering you to like borrow theirs, yeah, you're going to say yes to it because that'd be dumb not to. But there's a part of you that's like, oh, this isn't my car. I don't own this. I can't do whatever I want with this. I have to ask permission all the time. But it's interesting because you're because you're the youngest, you come in at a different point in our parents' life, whether that's financial opportunities, whatnot. And so I feel like there was more car sharing, obviously, when all of us were getting our license compared to like as being the youngest. It's like, oh, we have this extra car that no one doesn't get used. You can just like in a way have it, but it's like still ours. Did you feel like it was your car, or was it always in the back of your mind that's like, oh yeah, this is mom and dad's?
Yeah, well, it's funny hearing you say like you don't like borrowing or that type of thing, because I could definitely see that in your personality for sure. But I kind of feel like I don't really relate to that. Like, obviously disclaimer, like I don't want to be like indebted to someone, but like I feel like, yeah, even with the car, it felt like my car, but like in ways it's like I didn't have to pay for it. Repairs were mostly covered. I sometimes like would help out, but I feel like for me that was never really in the back of my mind.
I feel like think of the first thing that I feel like the first thing, we'll see what you think about this. The first thing that ever like was like kind of like went through all of us, and because you were the youngest and you're the last one, you just ended up keeping it, or you got it. And the first thing I can think of
I know this is
the Snuggly.
I know.
It's the Pooh Bear Snuggly that we all had as like kids, but it became your Snuggly.
Which I honestly think
is kind of crazy.
But you had a separate one, right? Like I think
it wasn't like that one, but it's just like it's but the idea of like how it was once all of ours, and then when the new baby came, the new baby got
it. Which
it.
I think is honestly, it's kind of interesting that we did that, because I feel like in most families, like each kid has like one stuffed animal or one blanket, but it's kind of weird that we just kept passing it down.
So I feel like you just got trained at a young age that you're like, as soon as no one else is using this, it becomes mine, because no one else is using this, which is kind of fair.
That blanket did. I definitely coined that. And I named it Grassy, and it was mine. So.
I didn't really care, because I didn't even realize I used it at one point, because I just always assumed I had my one or two Snugglies, and those were the only ones
I honestly, I think you probably
I got mine from an aunt.
Okay.
So they weren't necessarily from.
You had like two though. You had like a blue one and a brown one.
Because Rachel had the pink one. I don't even. What was Caitlin's? No, someone had a rabbit. Was that Rachel's too?
Maybe.
Rachel's was the very thin rabbit one, because it just was so old.
It's before my time.
Yeah, I think that thing was like disintegrating. We'll have to get Rachel on to talk about that. And then I don't remember what Caitlin's was.
I have no idea.
And I'm trying to think of what Isaac's was. I know he had this. He loved the Finding Nemo blanket, but that wasn't his baby blanket.
Okay.
That was like stage 2 blanket,
Phase 2.
Yeah, phase 2.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Interesting.
Yeah, and even then, like I don't imagine any of you guys were using that. It's like I just always assumed that it was just mine, and I always had it.
Yeah. Do you feel like I know I'm probably one of the biggest proponents of I wouldn't say making fun of you, but like
what would you say?
I don't know. I guess you could put it in a negative tense of like put down. I guess you could maybe say. You have
some middle child resentment building up.
And like put down seems really harsh for it. For me, it might be a put down for you. Maybe we can get into that, do a mini therapy session. Dude, okay. The other thing I wanted to talk about, we were on the boat and we were talking about like being open and closed personality. So like I'm an interior person.
What do you mean? Like, are you talking about processing or just like
processing, but also just like your personality?
Oh wait, I know.
You know what I'm saying? So like I'm an
open book versus closed book.
Yeah, kind of like that. And so like I'm a closed book which is ironic that I have this podcast, which I feel like for most like it's weird. I feel like I spend a lot of time talking, whether it's podcast or live streaming, that then when I leave that area, I'm just usually quiet unless I need to network.
Even like in performing though with your shows and like going to rehearsals and stuff,
You're
that's all like audible talking.
Yeah,
singing.
you're always like trying to be in the center stage, and it's like I almost feel like I take myself out of that role. It's like, oh, like that's
which
big,
actually hearing you say that like makes a lot of sense, because I feel like sometimes I would see you perform like in a show or a musical, and like I would kind of be like shocked, because I was like, it's just not like it's just
this
like
boy
so
sings? No.
different in a way than like the Jordan that I know at home, where it's like I can obviously see like you obviously are goofy on a daily basis.
Yeah.
But like in a show when you're like super animated and everything, I feel like sometimes it would like surprise me when I'd like watch it and be like, wow, he has it in him.
But we were talking, and did we come up with that you were also closed, or what's your thoughts on who you are?
No, because I think I asked somebody, and then you looked at me and you were like, I think you're a mix. Like, I think you said that about me.
And then did you say you think you're open or something? No, this is what I said.
I don't think I ever answered.
This is what I said. But before we do that, Micah, are you an interior or closed off person? Wait, are an open person? I gave you 2 versions of closed.
He thinks you're a closed person, by the way.
No.
Interior and closed off, yes. No, I think it honestly depends on who I'm with. Yeah. I think with my family,
we need like a majority,
very open.
though.
Like you obviously have a majority of what you are.
Yeah.
And okay, for me, I think you're more of an exterior person in the mindset of like you could talk to anyone, even if you're not interested in what but have a good conversation still. Which I feel like I'm pretty good at that, but there is some points where I'm like, yo, I'm like can't do this. Which we can talk about it after the show.
We'll get into that next.
but like for me, that's what I see most of the side of you talking to people, being more social that way. But I know there's a half of you that I don't get to see.
But we need his answer. We need his answer.
I mean, I definitely agree. In public, I'm definitely more of an exterior, friendly, everybody gets along, nobody's mad at me kind of guy, you know? Right? Like there's
always play the middle road.
Okay.
Exactly. Which is why I kind of think I'm more of like a 50-50 split.
You can't be though.
You can't be. It's actually impossible.
You have to choose.
We're creating a test and we're gonna charge $25 for everyone to take it, but it's
I'll be taking that test then.
It's gonna be taken. We'll give you a discount. So for me, we were talking on the boat, and it came up with that idea, and I was like, well, I feel like you could be an exterior person, but to me, it feels like you're more interior. Like we don't necessarily talk about the stuff that would make you the exterior. That was the other thing
we were gonna get into, I think.
Yeah, so we can lead into that. So like, that's what I'm. So that was my question. Is like, why do you think that you and I So I talked to Caitlin about this, and it just felt like her and I always competed against each other in everything we did. So there was a little bit, and like, I didn't necessarily take it as like we're fighting, but I felt like she did. Like she's like, he's trying to upstage me.
Like it was like a one-sided.
It was like we're both trying to do our best, but I never was. I mean, maybe subconsciously I was trying to just because you're always trying to be the best, right? But like it was out of a loving way towards her. Whereas like strangers, you'd be like, no, I'm trying to beat you, you know. But I felt like with her, it was always like, oh, I need to beat you. You can't be better than me, which then kept us, maybe not as close as possible. But I feel like you and I, we have a 4-year difference.
I was gonna say, I think the 2-year difference is tough. I think you're going through a lot of similar things, you know, or like just events at that age. I think it is a competition for attention, you know.
Do you also think that's so for you and I, we have a 4-year gap, and we're different, like genders, sexes, whatever that is. So we're into different stuff, you know, which
I think can be tough sometimes
because I think of you and Isaac, and Isaac's way better at like going out of his way to like interact with people, you know, and like make time for them, which like I applaud him for that. But you went to school together. You have only a 2-year gap.
Yeah.
You know,
I was gonna say we were in quite a few things together too. You know, even like if it was like sports, you know, or like I was like a manager, or like I feel like we were just like involved in each other's lives, like kind of like I don't know, like forced, but kind of forced to be, you know. Or
well,
like
you guys were the same height for like the longest time too, so everyone thought
actually,
you were twins.
I think I was taller. I think I was taller for a little bit, but We can move on from that now. People thought we were twins for a long time, and even most recently, we both worked in the same place, and people thought that I was older than him. So I just think that's kind of fun. I just wanted to bring that up.
Okay, so let's get back to us then.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think? I think I have some reasons as to why I think maybe we're not as close or as open with each other. Why do you feel that we maybe aren't as open?
Yeah.
Like if you have something going wrong in your life, you're probably not coming to me. And like let's talk like just us 5 kids, not mom
I think
and dad.
I come to you like after it's resolved. Or like
That's what
I
I'm saying.
figured
So
it
you
out.
don't come to me.
So I feel like I don't come to you with the rawness of it. It's like the like refined.
But it's
you
like
know.
it's like hey, it's already been solved, but here's what happened.
Exactly. It's like the rerun
which
of it.
I would argue is like the same thing I do with you.
Yeah.
Where it's
I
like,
would agree.
but why don't we use each other in the actual deepness
I think
of it?
you want to know that my answer,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
do you want to go first?
No, you can go first.
Okay. I think like in the
And be
in
completely
in the
like blunt.
best way to say this.
And the blunt
yeah.
like Jordan, you're a terrible person to talk to because you don't care. Like literally be blunt like
So
that.
he wants me to say it. I think I have 2 sisters. And I think that's kind of the game changer. And I think it's like, just looking at logistics,
Yeah.
it's like, am I going to talk to a guy about this or a girl? And I
Yep.
think like I have like 2 built-in best friends that way where like it's almost like you don't need a lot of people to like work through something,
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
And so I think like in my life, I think I've definitely leaned more on them for support that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think just in general, like I think the age gap is definitely a thing. Like Isaac and I are like closer in age, you know? So I think it did always kind of feel like we were like set apart in life a little bit,
Yeah.
You're like almost like half a decade older than me.
Mm-hmm. For me, well, going back to our original thought, I'm an interior person, so I deal with most of my problems by myself.
Yeah.
Like I don't really go to anyone.
You process
And I also
internally.
have like, I have this weird thing where it's like until I know something has happened, I won't tell anyone. So like if I'm auditioning for a show, I'll be like, hey, I'm gonna audition for this, but you don't hear about it. And I don't know, or it's like I won't tell anyone I'm hoping for this role because if I don't get it, I'm gonna feel like a failure because I told everyone I was going to do it and then I didn't do it.
I think even I've noticed that like so you'll like do something. Well, actually, like vivid memory of this. I remember one time you had a band concert and you had like this big solo in it, and you didn't tell like anybody in our family that you had a solo. And I
Was
just
this,
remember
like in middle school.
I don't know when it was.
I did one when we did Gonna Fly by
Yeah.
Maynard Ferguson. I didn't tell anyone I had an insane solo at the beginning or and I don't know, some song like that.
Yeah. And
It was like the intro song and mom and dad got mad.
Yeah, from a parent perspective, they want to have the camera ready and everything, and you
I
just
wanted
like
to surprise them.
Yeah.
That was more of like I knew I wanted
Yeah.
to surprise them. It wasn't like
Yeah.
that wasn't like I had to wait till
Okay.
it got done. That was like I want me to like walk up on stage and mom and dad be like, what the is this kid doing? And then just
It
play
worked.
this insane solo where you
Yeah.
accidentally play one wrong note, but it kind of works. And so you play off of it and then you keep going because it's jazz.
Yeah, but I think of you, and like I think there's a lot of like kind of announcements in your life that you have to make. That sounds kind of weird.
I come home
I just-
after a week. All right, update. Yeah.
There's just like it's things like you just have to let people know. And I feel like personally, I think I've realized I'm like a celebrator. Like the smallest thing will happen in my life. Like we're gonna celebrate.
For example.
What?
For example, just what happened now. Right before the show, you found out that you can potentially
Yeah.
go on the 2 trips
Yeah.
to move your brothers up.
That wasn't even celebrating. That was just me.
But I would argue that was a little bit slow. You're like, I can't believe, like, your reaction to that was
Yeah.
like me with something else. It's like,
That's true.
like for
Yeah.
something that's like big of like, oh my God, I can't believe that happens. Or maybe I just didn't know how to react in that situation. So
Yeah.
that
I think
doesn't count, but
that comes very like natural to me. Like I just like to inform people, and it's
did you find it out right there?
yes.
So, how long did it take for you to tell me? Like,
Well,
that 1
I
second?
kept saying your name, and then you were like,
well, yeah, because I had to change.
and then I like kept double checking the schedule to make sure that
Yep.
like I wasn't still on it. And then you were like, give me a second, I'm changing.
Yep.
And I was just like bursting. I just like wanted
Yeah,
to
yeah,
tell
yeah.
you, and then you came back. But yeah.
So, like, the difference between you and I
Mm-hmm.
find that out. I wouldn't tell anyone probably for like the next day because I would want to make sure that I don't have off instead of announce, hey, Gus. What was my first question to you when you said that? I was like, Are you,
You
sure?
asked if it was a glitch.
I asked if it was a glitch because I'm like, is it a glitch? And you're
And
gonna
then
refresh,
I was
and
second guessing myself. It wasn't a glitch though.
But it wasn't me trying to like tell you were wrong. It was like, oh, are you for real that this is real? Like, or are you just getting excited and then all of a sudden it's not going to be there?
Which is fair because
funny.
I did think that I could go, and then I realized that I did mix the days up. So
yeah,
it was a false alarm.
but
yeah.
But no, it was just like I think that's a good example of both just us and in general. Okay, I think the reason why maybe I don't share as much with you is I have the oldest male in the family mentality. And that's
Tell
and
me
like
more.
think of like a family, husband and wife, and the roles in the family, right? The husband like traditionally is go to work, do the brunt work. I hear a lot of people that get abused in like the way of like your body and like mental capacity, right? And when you're done and you make the money and you come home, like you're not gonna tell your wife every terrible thing that happened, and if you do, like there's no point. She's not gonna be able to fix it. If vice versa, if your mom, like our family, our mom was the breadwinner, so it's like she wouldn't go home and necessarily say every single little teeny tiny thing, you know. But it's like you kind of take that and you wear it, and I feel like for me, I take that mentality of like being the oldest son. It's like I'm not gonna like share, especially you're the youngest sister. So it's like, why would I share you my issues? You can't. It's not like you're.
Do you think you like? It's almost like, I'm not putting up a wall, but like, is it kind of a
100%.
mask in a sense of like you don't like you really just kind of want to highlight the good?
I highlight the good, yeah, 100%. Because by highlighting the bad, it's not. I mean, obviously, if something terrible happens, you're gonna share it, or like you know, like I'll always. I'm trying to think of like what was something that happened recently that. Or like breakups, it's like those are so hard for me to tell. Or it's so hard for me to tell that I'm in a relationship. Like I remember each one that like telling like I had to go on like 3 dates before. Like I don't want to tell that like okay, here we go. Recently, dig deep. Most recently I went on a couple dates.
Okay.
The first date I told mom and dad I'm hanging out with just some friends, like friends or friend. I can't remember.
Okay.
I don't think I would have said friends because that would have been a little bit of a stretch, you know, like for me to lie. And say multiple people when it was just
too
one.
white of a lie. Yeah. Exactly.
So I think I said I was gonna go hang out with a friend. I didn't say who the friend was, what we were doing, all that kind of stuff. Which we went out to eat. That was it. We just talked. Second time, I think I don't know if the second time I either came back or I was about to go, and knowing this about me of like not opening up, I told Isaac, I was like, hey, just so you know, I found this girl, I like her. I'm going on a second date with her,
and I remember hearing about this later.
I'm trying to be more open with people.
Oh,
and
that's
so
cute.
that was like
yeah.
so it's like
that's
one of
cute.
those. That's what I'm saying. So it's like it's a work in progress, and so it was like this is like don't tell people, and then I slowly told like another person and another person. When did you tell me?
Because I feel like a few.
And you might not even been told. You might have just been told through the grapevine. I don't know. But then like by the third day, I like finally told mom and dad. But then like we didn't go on any more dates or whatever.
I might have heard about it after the third one, maybe.
Well, no, I don't think so. Definitely after the second. It would have been after the second one for sure. Because the third one, we kind of agreed that we weren't gonna.
And I feel like sometimes when I hear about things, like it's already over, or like the thing has already happened. You know.
No, so like I know that's my weakness, and I'm trying to be better at it, but I don't know how to.
That's actually very interesting to me, like, because I feel like we're kind of like opposites in that sense, you know. Whereas I feel like I can keep secrets like well if somebody tells me to. I just want to make that clear. I'm very trustworthy. But like when it comes to my life, like I feel like I want to share, and I feel like being vulnerable isn't like hard that way. It's like something I desire to share with someone. It's weird
because like I'll go live stream or I'll do this and like I can talk about these things, but it's like on off camera or like
face to face.
Yeah, face to face. It's like I don't feel like we need to talk about this, which is like the wrong thing. It's like no, you should talk about this so that then you have a good base to build yourself off of with your relationship. You know, which I feel like you and I, not that we've been lacking in that, but for me personally, I feel like you're probably one of the siblings that I've like not had that ability to. Like if we took a drive, I would say we would maybe talk about surface level things for the first like 30 to 45 minutes. It would take a while to get into the deep stuff.
For sure.
Like this podcast.
Here we are in the deep stuff.
We're 30 minutes in or something like that.
Yeah, and I think in like the honest way, like it's like not that like I don't need your emotional support in my life.
Damn. No, I get you.
But it's like,
You can't have too
you
many
know,
emotions
like
in
if
your
I
life.
already like go talk to
Yeah.
one of my sisters or like
Yeah.
a girlfriend about something, like
So are you saying that I shouldn't feel too bad about this then? Because
I don't
I'm
think
not gonna
so.
lie, I've been kind of feeling bad for the
Really?
last like year and a half,
oh my gosh, that's such a long time.
and like I've tried to get better at it, but I just
Mm-hmm.
feel like it's gone nowhere. But is that fine that it goes nowhere? Because you're saying
Yeah.
that like I don't really, not that I don't need you, but it's like I don't need you in this way. I just need you to make me laugh. I don't know.
You do make me laugh a lot now. I mean, yeah, and I think like you have different types of relationships with everyone in your life.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like I don't know if like your relationship needs to be the same as mine with Rachel. You know, it's
No,
like
and I'm not saying that, but like,
Mhm.
how does that relationship go to like? So like my thing is like I don't want to get like us old and be like a family where like you're close to this sibling but not close to this one, and then you ask yourself, how did this happen? Could this have changed differently, or was there really like this? There's really no way because you can only have this many close relationships, like super close relationships. And then like when we get to when we just do family gatherings, it's like, oh, I can talk about this really deeply with this person, this deeply, but then like these two, I don't have that capacity, or I didn't have that ability to make that
yeah,
relationship.
and I mean, I think that honestly is a struggle of like a big family because it's like you don't necessarily have the time in a sense to like
Yeah.
equally share with people. So I think it's like tough because you kind of do have to like pick and choose, you know, like when to share with someone or like what to share, how deep to go. So I feel like that is just kind of a struggle, you know. It's like if there's like 4 options of people, you know, unless we have like a big like sibling group
I
meeting,
know where I
like,
am,
which we
number
have
4.
had in the past, and I love them. But yeah.
Yeah. No. Okay, Micah, what about you? You had a big family. What we saying, do you agree with or disagree in some ways?
I agree, but I think it's less of a negative and more of a positive in my eye, in that I really like having a big family because it allows me to like use each and one of my siblings as they're all different for like different things. Like if I want to talk about something super emotional, I'd go to Aiden or Aubrey. If I want to talk about like technology or something cool that I'm doing like related to like that stuff, I'd go to my oldest brother Corey. Or like
Yep.
Kira is the one I'm the closest with just because we've both been at home the longest.
Yep.
So like I could talk to Kira about anything. But I find it's a benefit in a way in that I don't feel like I need to tell everybody everything all the time.
Yeah.
In that I can reach out to a sibling to talk about something first and then talk about it to another sibling after I've kind of gone through some of it, and then another and another.
Yeah, I
And
agree
it just
with
kind of
that.
keeps like
It's kind of like a
tumbleweeding.
ripple.
Exactly.
Yeah, no. Because I think the standing joke when we were all growing up was like, who's gonna be the one sibling that becomes estrained?
Or it was
Like-
like, who's gonna be the black sheep? And I
Yeah.
I think we had all to guess.
Well, you know what's funny? I think growing up we always thought it was Isaac.
Okay, I didn't know if we were sharing that or not.
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
He's been on the podcast
Uncensored,
twice.
I guess.
He's been on the podcast twice. I mean, let's be real here. Our average, besides Micah's episode, our average viewership like probably dies off by like this point. You know what I'm saying? So if you're still with us, I appreciate you.
Shout
Consider
out.
dropping a like, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. And check out Micah's episode because his, for some reason, lasted like almost the whole episode. People watched the whole thing, which was pretty cool.
Wow, go Micah. Yeah.
No, obviously we're cooking on that episode. But but I almost feel now, I think there was a moment where it was Caitlin when she moved out. But now I feel like it's between Caitlin and I.
Oh, for like being
The black sheep. Because I think there's always going to be a black sheep in the family.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And
it's
I
not saying
wouldn't
that-
say that it would be Isaac anymore.
I don't know. I don't even think.
wouldn't
No,
be.
well, he changed. He did a 180 of who he was as a human. Let's be real here.
He did a 3
No, 360 would be bad. He'd be right back where we started.
I was doing the mathematics. Yeah, did you see? I stopped myself.
But that kid's awesome. You know, we love him now.
Yeah.
But
yeah, no. There were some tough days.
yeah, we could get another, when we do the sibling episode. That's just
that
gonna
would
go
be
hard.
crazy.
But my point was that like I feel like, and Caitlin's I feel like is only just because she's moved away.
Yeah.
Whereas like now I'm moving away, and Isaac is too.
Do you want to hear my guess?
For who the black sheep's gonna be? Who's the black sheep gonna be?
I think it's gonna be you.
Yeah, that's what I said. I thought you had some crazy take or something like that.
Yeah, well, I just feel like, especially in this upcoming season of your life, you know, I'm assuming you shared what's
No,
happening.
I haven't. So we'll keep it secret still.
Okay.
It's coming, maybe.
With this upcoming...
Again, this is my dysfunction of not knowing if it's official until it's official. So eventually you guys will know,
That's
but
crazy.
I have kind of dropped hints everywhere.
Okay.
So.
But yeah, it's going to be exciting, and it's a big deal. And it's also very different from anything any of us have done or, like, probably will ever do.
Yeah.
So I feel like in that sense, like, even just me, just, like, knowing what you're going to do next, I'm just, like, getting the hype up for you.
I know. But you know what's funny? Like, and this is me getting, like, emotional, but it's like I feel like I'm going to be the one that doesn't have the relationships with my siblings, you know. And that's like, I would say that's like 75% my fault in the sense of like prioritizing different things. I felt like I was at a stage in my life where it was like, okay, we need to figure out YouTube. We got to live stream, create YouTube
well, I
content
think
that way.
that's like part of making sacrifices though, you know?
But it's like, as you look back, it's, you know, it's like, and this is me looking back now as maybe I'm getting close to my quarter life crisis compared to like, instead of being like 50 years old and looking back and be like, oh, did I prioritize stuff? It's like I feel like I'm like a little bit ahead of that, and like I gotta make sure what I'm prioritizing is worth it, because this is time that you can't get back once you reach this point or you go this place or you decide to do this, you know. And I feel like with live streaming especially, it's like I was streaming all the time because I was like, this is something I really want to do. And then looking back now, I don't know if I'd necessarily change it just from where our family was at from that standpoint, you know. That might have been an escape mechanism, but like now I live stream like once a week. And that's partly because I'm doing this, and this takes like 1 to 2 days of my time, so I can't live stream on those 2 days or whatever, whether it's like editing and then actually filming. But it's like I would value this time more than live streaming. You know, I love you guys. If you're watching this, who's in my community? Go check out Jordan Whitrock. No,
hey,
but
let's go.
But it's almost like I feel like if I don't put a little bit more effort now and I leave, there's nothing to fall back on.
I think it's interesting because I've heard you like talk about it the other way too. Of like, you're like, if I don't pursue this or like do this, like I know I'm gonna like regret not doing that.
I guess maybe the idea of my rocking chair analogy is like, you guys are sitting next to me on the rocking chair.
Okay. I was like, I've never heard this analogy before.
Okay, I've said this like on like the probably last 4 episodes sporadically. Okay. So here's the quick synopsis. I'm 80 years old. I'm on a rocking chair. And I look back through my whole life, and I think of the one thing I didn't do my whole life that I wish I did, but I can't do anymore. What is that one thing?
I really like that.
For me, it's acting. If I'm 80 years old and I never acted in my whole life and I'm watching a movie or doing whatever and thinking about it, I'm going to be like, I wish I would have tried that to at least know that I couldn't have done it. Or maybe got a little successful or did a little bit, or maybe I got big or something. It's like, I want to do that. Like, I want to try that. Because if I fail, cool, I'll just go do something else with my life. And then I can be an 80-year-old on that rock and be like, I don't have to worry about that because we tried it. Yeah. Like, what's the one thing in your life?
Well, yeah, I think that's interesting to think about, like, in a way, like, everybody has that. And it's interesting to even hear you share what that is for you, because it's like, I don't relate to that. You know, I can watch a movie and I'll be like, I never needed to act.
I never needed to watch. No. What's the one thing for you? You're 80 years old on a rocking chair. What's the one thing that, like, if you don't do now, and this might help you figure out, because you've been in a crossroads for, like, what degree you want to get and all that kind of stuff.
I mean, I don't know. Like, that's...
It could be like, I want to have 5 kids.
I really like to ponder these questions for a while, but yeah, I mean, this just seems kind of like, I already know I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
But
it can still be that, like, you know.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me probably is, like, I just really want to be a mom. And I feel like I can't even imagine a life where, like, I wouldn't be. And that's, like, in that exact sense. But I think, like, if I ever did get to a point, you know, like, and I wasn't, I feel like that's something I would look back and be like,
like, if you chose not to.
Yeah. Like, I think
and that's what it would
really,
be. Because obviously, really if you, like, crazy stuff happens where you can't have kids or whatever.
Exactly.
But
and there's other like
that you
ways.
would have tried to do that. Kind of like my acting. I would have tried and I failed. So it's like I know I tried that.
I think for sure I think for a while I thought it was more maybe career oriented, or like
Yep.
if I don't do this specific like
Yep.
niche job, like I will regret that. But I feel like I've gotten to a point where like I don't really feel that way about the work I do. It's like obviously like I want to enjoy what I do and like I want to like fully be a part of it. But I think my values have shifted in the sense of like realizing that's just like one aspect of your life. It's not your life, you know?
Yeah, Micah, you've heard the analogy. Have I ever asked you your
I don't
one
believe so.
thing? What's your one thing that if you look back, you're like, I wish I would have done that? And it's not that you had to succeed, but like you at least tried it and you know, like I'd never have to think about not doing it.
I mean, arguably, very tough question if you haven't thought of it,
It is
initially.
yeah.
But I think currently my one thing is engineering itself, right? It's something I've always considered
Like building
myself.
something, like you just want to build something and have your name on it, or
No, because like I don't want to be self-center of a design, right? Like I don't want to have my name on something.
Okay.
I just want to be a part of engineering, building something to help other people with direct impact.
Yeah.
I don't need the Nobel Prize. I don't need
Yep.
recognition. I need to be self-fulfilled by the work. of
It's like
helping people.
internally
You know what's funny? That's
satisfied.
my exact thing for acting. It's like I don't need to
But
be the
acting,
lead.
obviously,
I don't need to be the lead. I don't need to have that. Like, it literally just put me in the background of a film so I can look at that film and be like, "That's me. I made it in the film. We got $30 that day."
we'll just use a green screen.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
But that's like when I think of that question, it helps me put in like what am I prioritizing then? Which then can be a struggle because now that I put that as my number one, like, and like this is like worldly. Obviously, there's non-worldly things that are first, but it's like if that's my goal, how do I get there? And so it's like, what can we do right now with my time and my skills to get closer to
And
that?
I truly think too, like the more you think like that, like you do become that, you know, because your thoughts like are what you become. And so I feel like the more energy and time you put into that, you know, like even like think of yourself like a year ago, you know, maybe before this all like really got started, it's like you've done it, you know, like you started the show and that was like something that you hadn't done before.
Yeah, I mean, and maybe that's like that whole thing of like it's never enough. I would argue though, for me, I want to get paid for something acting. Like once I get paid for something acting, like that's real.
Yeah.
Where I haven't been able to do that yet, you know, from that standpoint. But once I get the first act, it would again, the goalpost will move again once I do that. It's like, whoa, I meant when I get, I need to get this certain amount of money with this amount of zeros after it, you know, kind of thing. But for me right now, it's like I've always wanted to get paid for my acting. You're paying me for my skills because they're so good or they're up to your standards that you want me in this project, that you're willing to pay for me. That's different than being like, hey, you're my friend. Do you want to act in this? Because I need a warm body.
Is there like a specific moment you had like in your lifetime so far of like where it hit you where you were like, wait, like I'm kind of good at this, or like did you know?
Meaning like acting or
like in anything you've been
I've never
in,
thought I
or
was a
even
good
like
actor.
even just performing in general. It could be anything. Was there a moment it hit you, or did you just over time kind of like?
I still don't believe
it?
I'm good at all, and I think that's a good thing because that means you know that there's. I mean, if I was at where I'm at now and I'm like I'm perfect, I'm the best actor, that'd be a problem, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
But I feel like I go in the opposite extreme of like, I'm so terrible. Like I have no good assets. Like I need to keep learning. I need this person to tell me how to do this because I don't know how to do it. And maybe that's just because I don't know how to do this or I don't trust my skills to this point, you know? But going off your question, I think there's two moments where I'm like, this was cool. This was fun. I think the first one was in 5th grade when I had my trumpet solo when the Saints go marching in.
Really? Wait, I love that.
Only because that was the first time I took the initiative to do all the work myself to perform. Because like a couple times point you're in choir and you're forced to sing, all that
Yep.
kind of stuff. You're in band, you're forced to play. But there was this opportunity in 5th grade. I don't know if I've told this story. I can tell it quick. In 5th grade is when we learned how to do instruments when we lived in Green Bay. That was the last year we lived there. And so
Okay.
I learned how to play my trumpet
Yeah.
in
I was
5th
gonna say
grade.
that's pretty young.
Compared to when we moved to Ripon, then it was 6th grade. So I had technically had a year up on everyone. But there was an opportunity. The director was like, hey, anyone who wants to perform like a solo or like a duet or a trio, like you can come to like you have to play it for me first because it's like one of those massive schools, like K through 8. So and it's like all of the concerts going on at the same time. So like the auditorium is, or not, it's like the gymnasium is full and it's like a big,
Yeah.
because in that school they had 2 gyms. That's how like big it was. And so it was in the big gym, of course, with the stage. And I remember performing, and looking back now, I don't know if I was necessarily scared performing. And I say that because I played it and it went really well. And like I remember like mom and dad obviously being like, "Wow, that was insane! Like, kid, that was crazy." Like we didn't know that you were actually that good.
Yeah.
But I remember I practiced every single night after school in 5th grade.
Yeah.
I would be in the basement playing my trumpet every night. And going through those frustrations of like, I can't get this note, I can't do this, but you like went through it. So like, that was like, for me, it's like, oh, that was like me teaching myself, oh, if I put effort into something, I'll actually get good at it, And then the other thing was like sophomore year of high school when we did Addams Family and I got Gomez, it was one of those like, oh, that's awesome, but like, oh shit moment. Like I have to like actually be good. And I think that was like the show that I was like the most, like I never was nervous for that show.
Really?
Because I was so prepared for it.
Yeah.
And I've never been that prepared for a show. And it's more because I don't know how to prepare necessarily for like film is probably the thing. Like I can prepare for a theater show because I've done so many, but film I don't know how to prepare for. But that stage show,
I feel like it is generally a little more on the go.
Yeah, but like if you're in the real business, like you have your lines memorized, and it's like I don't know how to do that because everything's you don't get to rehearse it with everyone 17 million times before you do it. It's on your own, and then all of a sudden you add someone across from you, and they start saying their lines the way they've been practicing it, and you don't get that. So like, I don't know. I feel like
that is something you learn though. Yeah.
Exactly, and then that probably comes. But I remember with Addams Family, I put so much time and effort to it. It was so easy, and then everyone loved it. And then like the people in my grade that like maybe I didn't feel like respected me because I liked musicals and plays and stuff like, and they would have been like the jocks, like actually came up to me and were like, "That was insane! Like you did a great job." And it's like I like knowing how hard it is for me to have humility towards other people and like congratulate them and stuff. It's like I can only imagine what that was for them. So then I had to have done a good job because I had to impress them that much for them to be willing to come up.
Yeah.
So I think that was another moment where it's like, oh, like I could be good at this, but I've never thought I've been like. I mean, it took me a year, right until the end to be like, yeah, this is what I want to do. Like, I think I could do this.
That's true.
And honestly, it's mostly because I knew I didn't want to do television, like broadcast, like behind the camera stuff. Because I thought that's what I was going to do when I graduated. And I was like, I have no interest in this.
Did that feel like kind of like settling for you to be like behind the scenes?
It's easier to me. Because it's.
But did you kind of like, could you sense that you like kind of knew it would be easier?
Like if I were to choose it?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I think sorry, I got distracted. Micah pointed. There's a cat that just came out of the couch.
Oh.
Macy, what's up? All right, I think Micah's gonna let her out of the door.
How'd she get in? That's
Dude,
crazy.
she was under the couch. She came in here before we.
She was.
She
I
came.
didn't
She
know
came in
that.
here before we even. Oh yeah, she came in here before we even started the show and has been under there this whole time. That's why when Micah points to a cat, I'm like, I literally closed all the doors. This is actually literally impossible for this to be a thing.
I mean, she was pretty quiet, so.
No, she was quiet. Nikita would start coming up to us and be like, meow.
He would be everywhere, yeah.
So that worked. All right, thank you, Micah. I appreciate that. No, but but like long story short, I think that's probably where it's weird to think that I'm doing this because I still don't think I can, but I want to try. I guess maybe what it comes down to. And I have the good Midwest, like I'll just work harder than other people to try to, and that's what my whole life has been.
That'll pay
I've
off.
never considered myself smart. I've always just worked harder than other people, like whether it be studying or just like finding tricks to memorize quicker and whatnot. It's not that I was smarter, but even though like I'd be in the honors grades and it's like, no, you're literally not that smart. Like
even competitively, I feel like your mindset, it's never like I'm better than you, like skill wise. I feel like it's always just like I I've practiced more,
Or it's
I've
like,
played this game a million times.
I can, like, you might be the best person ever at this compared to me, like, when we're looking at us two. But it's like, I'm just going to, like, do what I can do to, like, make it an even playing field for both of us. So if that means I have to put in more work, or does that mean, like, I just have to get you more tired on the court so that then it's now even?
Yeah.
And just make it until that point, and then now it's even and I can beat you.
Yeah.
Is, like, what I would argue. I don't know.
Yeah, I could see that.
But this is good. This is good psychoanalyzing. Everyone who's been watching up to this point has been
That's
like,
one
this
of
is
my
good
favorite
Jordan
things to do is just psychoanalyze everything.
What's another thing that you look at me and you're like, we got to know the answer?
Let's think.
Well, so you're going into, have you decided officially what you're going into? So you've been going back and forth between what major?
I've been going back and forth. I've been going across. I don't know where I haven't
school,
been.
out of school.
No, I think I'm kind of back and forth again. I think.
Are you? And this is funny because she literally told me like a week ago that she's like, "Yep, I'm all in. I'm all in again. I'm going back."
Really? I don't even remember that. But I like to celebrate.
So wait. You're going. Maybe this is what you said. So you're saying you're going back. In what way? You're going back and forth again?
Yeah. Well, originally.
Yeah.
Let's
take the audience to this whole story of so Kenzie graduates and she wants to be a.
I don't know if this is a very fun story, but
well, it's gonna be quick.
Yeah,
just so you get caught up.
Okay, here we go. First was always gonna major in psychology.
Yep.
Had no plans.
You took an AP class, you loved it.
I took the class, I loved it.
So you graduate and you get to college.
Yes, and I'm in college, and I'm not in the psychology classes yet, and it's kind of sad, I don't really like the class I'm in, just forced to be there.
You don't like learning about poli-sci? Okay, fair enough.
No, it's not my favorite thing. And then I kind of had a moment where I was like, wait, I never really thought past, once I get that degree, like how am I going to use it? Always heard that you can't really do much with it.
Go back to school.
Unless you go back to school. So then I was like, I don't know if I actually want to go back to school. So then I kind of was just, coming up with ways out of that path, so yeah, I mean, I think there's limited options for what I can do as well.
With psychology.
Not even just in general. I think
with what you want to do with your life? Oh, okay.
I think I am somebody who like for example, I see the medical field and I'm like, ooh, like I really like that.
Yeah.
It's cool. Like there's just so many different avenues there. But I also know about myself that I can't handle a lot.
Yeah.
And so I think like that has been kind of tough too. So anyways, I was looking for, sometimes maybe a little medical, but like not
which brought you to
personal or gory. And so I was kind of settling on dental a little bit. I was kind of dental hygiene.
Yeah.
I was exploring that.
You like literally were about to drop out of
was about
to go to a different
drop
school.
my life, go to a different school.
But then you're
totally
like, wait, hold up. And what was that?
And literally,
what were you gonna
this
switch
would
to?
have been the week before classes. I had never officially dropped out of the university, but I had applied to the other school and I did have a schedule at that school. So I had two schedules and I wasn't ready to fully commit. I liked knowing that I was enrolled in both schools for the next semester. And then the week leading up to when my schedule would have started for dental hygiene, I was in Utah and last minute just had a feeling it wasn't the right thing. And I was like, dang it. I thought it was so close.
Talking to Jesus.
I was, and he told me no. So I was like, okay, fine. So then I called the school and like I canceled my classes for that. And I was like, dang, I was on the wait list for this program and it was, I think, the applications were about to open again.
Gotcha.
And I never put my application in. And then I told everyone that I was switching to that. And everyone was like, wait, what? Like, you're not doing it? But yeah, it just didn't feel right. So then I went back. And this whole time, I actually was undeclared because going into my first year, I was like, I actually already kind of knew. I was like, maybe I don't want to do psych. So I was undeclared pretty much all freshman year. And so it was a roller coaster. Anyways, switch to education.
Yep. So then you leave the dentist, go to education, solely education, right?
Yep. And was actually taking some education courses. I did enjoy it. I did enjoy it, but I was like, I am still unsure if that like not not even long term, but even if it was just a few years, it's like, would I actually want to do that?
Yeah.
Still kind of figuring that out. And more recently, I was like, maybe I need to go back to my roots. And maybe I need to go get that bachelor's in psychology.
Okay, so then
I
nothing
think I
is
was
changed.
open.
That's what you told me last. So I
Okay,
thought you meant you
yeah.
changed from that to
No,
like back
no,
to
no,
like
no.
something different. Okay.
Yeah, I think I came around to the idea where I was like, wait, like literally going on for more school is not a big deal.
Yeah.
And I think that mentally I just had to like accept that. So
Mm-hmm. It's different too. Like that type of school is different. Like it's not the college experience anymore.
yeah,
which
but
you
at
have
the
to
same
realize.
time, like it's specialized into like exactly what you're gonna be doing, which I think is fun.
And scary, because that means
Yeah.
you're putting all your eggs in. Like it feels like you can be putting all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah.
When you get to that higher education. Wait, okay. So you're doing psychology.
Yep.
What's your favorite go-to question to ask someone? Do you have a question that you ask people that like you don't know, but it's like, oh, this is gonna give me a lot of information?
It's gonna give you a lot.
No, just like
Me.
like in general. Yeah. So it's like if I didn't know who
Yeah.
you were, I'd be like, what do you like? Like this is like some dating questions. It would be like, oh, so like what if you got $10,000, what would you do with it? Like you won the lottery and you got $10,000, what would you do with it?
See, I kind of hate that question. Is
No,
that an
but
unpopular
just
opinion?
just tell me like what would you do with the 10,000?
I feel like it's just
Or
like,
tell me why you hate it, because that will also
I'll tell you
me
why I
something.
hate it because
That
I don't
will
really
also
want to
tell me
answer it.
something.
I hate it probably just because I feel like when people answer it, they can't actually like physically take into account what they would actually do. I feel like it's not actually like a fair answer. I feel like people think of it and they're like, either they think it's like a lot of money or like it's not a lot of money, But I feel like it's like I know it's hypothetical, but
me,
it's
that's
still
a lot of money.
It's still. I don't know about you.
I get it. You got that younger younger ability to. Yeah, I got you.
I just think that like it's not like I like really want to like see into people, I feel like that's a
not
question.
the only question you ask the whole night.
Well, I know.
But you know what the point
I
of that question is? It tells
see if
you
they
what.
have good financial habits.
Yeah, it's to see what.
Yeah.
So if someone says like, "Oh my God, I'd buy this car and I'd go on this trip," it's like, "Oh, that's your priorities financially." Or if it was like, "Oh, maybe I'd like take half of that, put into like an index fund
Yeah.
or something, and then maybe I would like fix something that maybe I'd been needing, or like give the money to something else or whatever." And like obviously, I think it's normal to want to spend money on yourself.
I guess I haven't really thought about it from the perspective like generosity too. Like people,
and it's not like I feel like that's like you can't expect someone also to be like their first thought to be like, I'm gonna give $10,000 or $5,000.
If they're maybe thinking about that a little bit, then it's like oh, green flag, like.
Or if they had a lot of money and their first thought was, oh, I'd give this to someone. It's like, oh, okay, this is a rich person or someone that has more money than me that actually has values that I have, you know. But like, is there a question like that?
Okay, I guess I don't hate it. Maybe I dislike it, but I can see the pros of it.
But is there a question that you have being in like a psychology major where you talk about these types of things and like what is someone's personality and how do you find out someone's personality? Like, is there a question that's like something that maybe your professor was like, this is a good question to ask people in public, like without them realizing?
I mean, in all honesty, like I don't think I've like totally reached that level yet. I think it's more of like the science behind it, like like why do people feel these emotions, it's like what's actually going on like in the brain behind the scenes. But I mean, if I'm being completely honest, I think probably one of my favorite, and we kind of talked about this a little bit earlier, but I think probably one of my favorite questions right now is like the processing one. And we were talking about like, are you like an internal or an exterior processor? And I think like that just like tells you so much about people because it's like, I don't know, it's kind of the idea of like, do they rely more on other people to help them like figure out issues, or not even issues but decisions? It's like, do you have the confidence to like make your own decisions, And I just think that's really interesting because you can like see it in different people,
Okay, if you're looking for before I ask this question, Micah, do you have a question that you like to ask people? That doesn't necessarily have to be like a relationship kind of question, but like a question to like when you meet someone just to get an idea of who they are, or like maybe what they think about in like one specific way.
I mean, I don't have like a specific question that gives me like a lot of information.
Yeah.
But one question I do always like to ask is how many siblings a person has.
That's a
because
good one.
it does give you a lot more information than just a number.
Not to judge, but we do like people who come from big families.
Yeah, so if you're trying to date this girl,
I mean, that's a good point,
it's got to be at least
though.
4 siblings or more. No.
Minimum 4. Yeah, I think you can just kind of like get an idea of like how their life has been for them so far too.
Dude, would it be? I feel like these are questions that like you would just generally ask because you'd be curious about especially if it's someone that you like. If you go relationship wise, it's like I would want to know who potentially be the people that I'd be spending a lot of time with.
Exactly.
How many are there?
Yeah.
What do you find differently between Micah for you as well? Like someone with one or by solo or have one sibling compared to someone with a big family.
Yeah.
What do you find to be the biggest difference?
I think the biggest difference is the support circles.
Okay.
You'll find somebody who's like an only child being a lot more open and relying on their friends a lot more as
so
like their
true.
close circles, where like first people I turn to is my siblings and family, because why wouldn't I have so many of them?
So many to choose from.
But like
too many.
I think honestly the difference comes from 3 to 4, because like 3 people is like there's definitely siblings, but again it also is the age gaps, because those make quite
those
a bit
could
of
be
a difference.
bigger age gaps by having only 3 kids. Like think if it was just you, Rachel, and I.
Yeah, that's weird to think about. That'd be really weird.
Yeah. Make me cry. No.
I think, that's kind of interesting, though. Like, I think I've seen that pattern, though, with people. It's like they really cling to friends, you know?
I'm trying to think of people I know that... and also, it's like, what are you going to do? Hang out with your parents? I mean, there are people that do that, but, like, that also tells you a little bit about them, too, so...
That's all very true. Yeah.
That's crazy.
There's a line, I think, with that.
I'm trying to think of my thing is like when I get into a conversation, so like, small talk. I hate small talk.
We're doing it right now?
No, we're not doing small talk. Even our talk at the beginning wasn't so much small talk. Like, I think we were just gauging out each other. Especially, I was mainly trying to gauge you out to see how far we could go before you'd be like, yeah, maybe we don't talk about that, or we can move on from that. But
and I didn't even know what I could say. I was like,
but
is this censored?
I did say you could say anything. And if you wanted to cut, we could cut it.
Oh,
but
that is, I forgot about that.
You did, I did answer.
That's true.
Yeah. So if you've been holding on to something and you want to share it, you can at some point.
No.
But my thing was, like, I find just like I always just want to go straight into like the serious questions, like. I'm curious about like what are your political views? What like do you think about money? Do you have money?
Yeah.
Do you not have money but you're working really hard to earn money and it's just like life is so expensive? Or like all those things that like you'd want to know about someone. Like how big is your family? Like are you close to your family?
Which I think is
all that
good,
stuff.
but I think at the same time if you're the person receiving all those questions and you're not ready for it, you know? Like your rocking chair analogy, it's like, ooh, like, I'm on the spot. I don't know what to say.
Yeah. But like for me, that's one of my drawbacks. And like I used to be really good at small talk. And I think I used to like almost be a competition with myself to be like, how good can I make this small talk last? And then now I'm at a point in my life where I'm like, I don't care about small talk. Like us talking, like, yes, you talk about sports or like the news or something like that or something. That's not really deep personally, but I feel like you're not going to really necessarily know the person. And I feel like the people I spend the most time with, I want to know the most about. Like I want to know if you're someone I can be friends with, like trust and all that stuff. So the only way I can do that is like find out who you are. The only way I can find out who you are is like ask these intense questions that you probably are like, whoa, Jamal, like
because also down. I think you want to think about like how you're coming off to that person, and if they're like, ooh, this guy he's too blunt for me, and then it's like they don't want to be your friend.
But I guess I wouldn't say that I'm blunt where I'm like you're wrong, you know what I'm saying? It's like that's an interesting way to think about it. I haven't thought about it like that, But I think that's like it's like my question on a date or in like meeting someone the first time is like I always try to get like really deep because I'm like I just want to know what's in like how do you think about the world,
Yeah, that's good. Yeah,
I don't know, interesting. Life is crazy.
Shower thoughts
for sure. All right, well, is there any last things pressing that you wanted to talk about that we didn't get a chance to?
Let me think. I don't know. Not a lot of thoughts up there.
We cleaned them out. No.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thoughts,
so hey, maybe we take this. What's something that we could do together to try to grow our relationship? What's one thing that we could do?
I like this. Maybe we have to be vulnerable with each other once a week.
Once a week, find one.
About something like before, something that hasn't even happened. Or you haven't told anyone about.
Once a week?
Once a week.
Okay.
Because then we'll like slowly start to be surprised by each other, you know?
Should we start with the podcast right now? No, just kidding.
No.
And
I'm going to Missouri. The episode will be out by then.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, pretty high.
Actually, it won't be. Oh, yeah. No, that trip will already happen before the episode comes out.
Really?
Yep.
Never mind.
Yeah, it'll already be back from it. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Micah, any last words?
Then.
Any thoughts?
I think your once a week conversation is a great idea.
Are you excited about it? He's excited.
I'm excited for you guys.
Yeah, there it is. There it is.
We do a members only, and it's just us talking about our personal stuff.
Yeah, for real.
All right, perfect, sweet. All right, well, thanks everyone for joining the show. If you made it this far, I appreciate it. Love you all. Consider dropping a like, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. I think last I looked, there's a good portion of you that watch this show that aren't subscribed or following. So like,
it's time to subscribe.
that's what I'm thinking. Like,
Yeah,
why are we still not doing that? You know, it's free. It doesn't hurt you. It actually increases your algorithm to get more of my content. So
there you go. It's kind of just a win.
All right. Well, thanks for joining the show. I appreciate it, and we will see you guys next week.
See you in the next one.
Peace.